Good afternoon, Lacrosse fans, and welcome to Andre Reed Stadium here on the beautiful campus of Kutztown University for today's Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference matchup between your Kutztown University Golden Bears and the Edinboro University Fighting Scots. KU coming in with a 5-5 record, 2-3 mark in the PSAC. The Fighting Scots at 3-7 and 0-6. So looking for their first conference win today as KU looks to get back on track after a tough loss to a good Westchester team in its last game, losing 14-5, but had been on a two-game winning streak and playing its best lacrosse, really. They're not only at Gannon, but home against Bloomsburg and getting two big victories. And this one is definitely a very important game for KU as it tries to stay within that top 6 area, or at least within striking distance of it, and looking to make the playoffs. KU currently sitting down at 2-3, so about 8th place in the league, but really most of the teams separated by 1 or 2 wins or losses, so KU could really get themselves up the table in getting a big result today against an Edinboro team, which frankly has struggled this season. And KU should be expecting to come out in this one. A little update for those Kutztown Lacrosse fans listening in. Sarah Gabriel with an ankle injury is going to be out today, and maybe will be out for a few games. Hopefully not for too long, as Gabriel, the leading scorer for KU, both goals and assists and points on the season. But we will step aside here and be right back with the starting lineups and more action here from Andre Reed Stadium. All right, so we are back here, and National Anthem just wrapping up here from Andre Reed. So we'll run down the starting lineups for both teams and then get ready for what should be a good one today here from KU. So for Edinboro, on defense, Juswick, Toms, Fitzgerald, and Doran. In goal, it is McDowell for the Fighting Scots. At midfield, Cheeto, Dobbins, Uplinger, and Brinkle. And on the attack, DePalma, Mulcahy, and Thomas. Fighting Scots coached by Jenny Worth in her first season, with Leanne Stauffer, her graduate assistant, helping her out. For KU lineups today, from the front to the back, Cafferata, Bowman, and Carlucci getting the start today. As we mentioned, Gabriel out of the lineup with the injury. A lot of midfielders in there today for KU. Smith, McCormick, Schmidt, Layman, Fitzpatrick, and Watkins in the midfield. Darcy and Vaughn, the 2 lone listed defenders, and Haley Klein in net. KU, of course, coached by Jackie Stezzi, and she is assisted by Kristen McGrath. So, yeah, as far as this game's concerned, I mean, a big one. I mean, obviously the Fighting Scots looking for their first conference win of the year in what has been a struggle this season. Edinboro averaging just 8.9 goals per game. So, Kutztown offense comes in averaging nearly 13 goals per game. So, that's going to be one thing to watch for. If Edinboro wants to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to limit Kutztown's opportunities on the offensive end and hope that it can find a few goals of its own. For KU, get out early and never look back. Really, you have the opportunity to make a statement today, regardless of whether Gabriel's on the field. Kind of good test for your team to see how well it performs without Sarah Gabriel. But certainly this is a game that one player should not impact the result of. KU in its home whites with red numbers, the maroon numbers, and Edinboro in its away reds, white numbers out here. Edinboro traveling right to left on your stream, KU left to right. But definitely a game today that just because you're absent of one of your best players and one of the best players in school history, Sarah Gabriel. Nothing to really flinch at. You have plenty of other players on the field that can do the job, and that's got to start here from the opening whistle. That is Schmidt out there, so Lauren Schmidt, the junior from Hanover, taking the draw control for KU as we are just about set to get underway. Opening whistle and the first draw control. Mishandled for a second, but that's going to be picked up there by Hannah Fitzgerald, the senior from Oswego, New York, as the Fighting Scots will get the first opportunity to move it forward. And moving it into the offensive end now, that is number 9 or number 10, Julia Lewan, inside, and she goes down hard. So that was Uplinger going down, but a foul committed there. And KU going to get possession here. Amanda Layne with it in the back end, passing off to Devin Fitzpatrick for the restart. For KU this season, Gabriel with 28 goals and 16 assists. She leads the team with the 44 points. But with her out today, expect to see a lot of Michaela Bowman, Lauren Schmidt, Destiny Watkins, and Madison Carlucci on the offensive end. Those are the top 5 goal scorers for the Golden Bears. And it's going to have some other players step up in that category with the absence of Gabriel. KU now with its first offensive opportunity. That's Watkins on the near side, back behind the net to Cafferata. Cafferata surveying. Finds Fitzpatrick, far side. And now back up top. KU very methodical in the first possession here. Going to get off to a good start. Bowman with a chance in front of the net. Going to drive towards the goal. Takes a double team, and now we'll back it out here on the near side. Long pass out. Does not connect with Schmidt, but Watkins picks it up around the 25-yard line. Now Bowman on the left hand. Back to the right. Michaela to the net. Good dish off there. Shot by Carlucci over the stick of McDowell and into the back of the net. So that's a good possession there by KU. Good patience shown on the offensive end. Extra pass there from Bowman to Carlucci. And just like that, it's 1-0 here with 28-25 left in the first half. So for Carlucci, that's obviously her first of the game and 14th of the season, assisted by Michaela Bowman. And now that is 13 assists for Michaela on the season. And like we said, expect to see Bowman and Carlucci working that game a lot, especially with the absence of Gabriel. You're going to see a lot of those two players. And a great start, just how you draw it up for Jackie Stezzi. Like we were saying, it definitely a very winnable game for KU today, but you're looking to kind of not just respond from the last game, a disappointing loss to Westchester, but also kind of just make a statement and saying that you're a lot better than that 14-5 result, especially against a team like Edinboro. Draw control one there by Smith. That was perfectly executed. Now Smith on the run. Smith finds Schmidt in the middle, won the draw control. Back out, and foul going to be called on the inside. So Schmidt with an opportunity. She was going to dish it off to Bowman, but gets called. The foul gets called, and now Schmidt on the free position, looking to make it 2-0 here with less than 2 minutes gone. Schmidt ready. Schmidt shot, and Schmidt goal. So that is exactly how you draw it up. You talk about making a statement here early on. You're already up 2-0 with 28:08 left here in the first half, and that's exactly how you want to get the game started. And for KU, just got to kind of keep that momentum rolling now with the 2-0 lead. That's the 18th goal of the season for Schmidt, and she scores that one on the free position. Just to update you on some of the action around the PSAC today. So a couple games going on right now. A couple actually, or one has already ended. So Westchester against Gannon. That game just wrapped up, and the Golden Rams, yeah, they're pretty good. They took down Gannon 20-3 today in that one. That one just wrapping up. That had an 11 o'clock start time. We'll have our eye on a couple of the other games as well. Draw control one there, and Emily Smith moving it forward. And the Mercyhurst and Lockhaven game, and IUP and ESU. And looking at the table, two very important matchups going on. Obviously got to take care of business at home here, does KU, but certainly would have their eyes doing a little scoreboard watching on those two games today, as we will keep you updated on those ones as well. Bowman up top. Bowman in, able to squeeze through there, splits the double team. So 1-on-1, 1-on-2, Michaela Bowman just doesn't care, and she is able to finish that one. And now KU with the 3-0 lead. And this one, if you're Edinboro, as they huddle back by the goal, they've got to figure something out on the defensive end. This one could get away from them here quickly, down 3 already. So IUP and ESU, that had a noon start time today, so I believe that one is at halftime. Yep, so they're about to get started with the second half. IUP with a 6-4 lead over East Stroudsburg. And you look at the table, if you're KU, you kind of just want IUP at 3-2 to continue to slide down. And you'd rather have East Stroudsburg get the win today. So KU needing the Warriors to make a little comeback in order to have that happen. And the Mercyhurst and Lock Haven game, which just began between the number 19 ranked Lakers and the number 24 ranked Bald Eagles, 1-0. Lock Haven scores first in that one. Edinboro able to win the draw control, and that's Sydney Dobbins, sophomore from Liverpool, New York, with the ball as she works it back up top to Stephanie Cheeto, the junior from Erie. Near side. Fighting Scots looking for a way to crack into that again. Talked about that kind of during the Westchester game, and KU was really never able to get the deficit down into an area where it threatened much. But that's kind of got to be your goal when you're looking at a 3 or a 4 goal deficit, is just to get a couple and then hope that kind of swings the momentum in the game. We saw KU able to do that against Bloomsburg. They faced a couple 3-goal deficits in the first half in that game and got a big goal before halftime from Michaela Bowman, and that propelled the Golden Bears to a 9-1 run there in the second half to really end up with an easy victory over Bloomsburg in a game that seemed like it was going to be down to the wire, but KU able to use some momentum and get things rolling in scoring 6 straight to start that second half. KU's got 3 straight here now to start the first half and is threatening for more. Cafferata in the offensive end behind the net. Carlucci on the far side. Mad looking for Watkins, can't find her. Back behind to Cafferata. Again, good patience shown here. Edinboro content to kind of just sit back and not put a lot of pressure on KU in the offensive end. And if they're not going to pressure you, no reason to do too much. Nice job there by Schmidt to track that ball down. She lays it off to Darcy, who's now in the offensive end. Shannon going to flip it off. And now Smith goes to work. Smith, pass in front. Shot there by Cafferata is just wide. I think it went off the goalpost, but a foul called, as it looks like it's going to go on KU, so Edinboro going to dodge a bullet there and be able to move it out of its own zone. Foul called there on the Golden Bears, 25:40 left here, and KU up 3-0. Not exactly the best weather day for April 7th, but again, as we said on Thursday night, we'll take it. No rain, and dry is good, especially with the way this winter season has gone. A lot of rainouts, postponements, snowouts even, if you can believe that. And good to see that this game was able to get in today. They were calling for a little bit of precipitation early in the week, but guess that forecast resided, and at least no rain on the field, but about 38 degrees today here, so may say April on the calendar, but it feels more like February. And KU now with the ball in the offensive end. Carlucci and Smith. So Carlucci's had a lot of touches early on, both behind the net and in front, and it seems like she's kind of going to be that facilitator, that kind of the role that Gabriel normally plays as the primary with the ball in the offensive end, could be replaced by Carlucci today. That's Bowman on the near side. Good dodge there by Bowman to get in. Now she will find Schmidt behind the goal. Schmidt finds Carlucci. 45 seconds on the shot clock for KU. Again, working the ball around. Edinboro not extending the pressure, but now will a little bit, as the pressure was put on there on, like that was McCormick that was pressured. She dumped it off to Bowman. Found Watkins back to Bowman. So a little tic-tac-toe passing going on the near side. KU looking to get it into the zone. And now maybe they'll be able to do so. That's Smith with it. Smith feeds inside. Shot there, and it is in from McCormick. So again, that patience on offense eventually ends up with the wide-open McCormick in front of the net, and she doesn't miss. The freshman from West Deptford gets her first goal of the game, and KU now leads 4-0. And I would expect, and yes, they beat me to the punch. I would expect, is what I was going to say, is I would expect Edinboro will be taking a timeout here at any moment, and the Fighting Scots have called one, down 4 with 24:15 left in the first half. So we will step aside and be right back here from Andre Reed Stadium. You're watching Kutztown University Women's Lacrosse on the Golden Bear Network. Both sides break the huddle. Your score here from Andre Reed Stadium in the first half, KU 4 and Edinboro 0 with 24:15 left. And we said KU definitely more talented, just a better team overall than the Fighting Scots. But nonetheless, you wanted to come out and make a statement here after what was a tough game against Westchester in your last one. And you've passed that test so far with flying colors, scoring 4 in the first 5:45 here. As Edinboro had to take that timeout, Jenny Worth calls the timeout, and I think in there, the message has got to be, let's just get one back and see if we can't make this more of a game. But right now, Edinboro just hasn't really been able to stop KU on the offensive end, and Watkins had a chance at that draw control. Easy ground ball missed there by Watkins, but is picked up now by Smith. KU going to have another opportunity on offense. And, that's kind of the crazy part about a game like lacrosse is if your team can win the draw control over and over again, you can dominate the whole game in possession. And Edinboro really hasn't touched the ball much, let alone been able to score. So I think for the Fighting Scots, you got to try to force a turnover here or at least try to keep KU at bay. They're starting to extend that defense a little bit around the outside, but that leaves you prone to that right there. And then Destiny Watkins takes the worst of that one. That's going to be a foul called there on Meredith Doran. Got her money's worth, checked Watkins to the ground, but that's certainly not allowed, and she will see some time in the penalty box. KU going to be playing player up here, but I also believe Watkins is going to have a free position on the restart. And that's kind of the danger of, that Edinboro at the beginning of the game was certainly content to sit back on the defensive end. That didn't work. So then they tried to push out there on that last possession, and Watkins made quick work of it and got into the offensive end. So Fighting Scots trying a couple different strategies, but so far have not found the one that's going to work. Bowman on the far side, great pass in front. It's a little wide of Cafferata, and she can't handle it. Picked up by the goaltender, Candace McDowell, the freshman from British Columbia in net, McDowell. But that one's turned over quickly. KU with an opportunity. Good pass there. Watkins in front. She could not handle the pass as it was a little too hot, but now picked up by Smith. She's got a chance in front of goal. See if she'll elect to reset. KU playing a player up. Good pass in front. McDowell comes out to pressure it. Watkins had a wide open net, but could not get the shot off. Watkins back over to Bowman. And now back up top. KU looking to set up. With a player up, only a matter of time. Someone is found in front of the net. Watkins bounce shot on the near side, and it sneaks past McDowell for the goal. So Watkins, the near side cutter, able to make the catch and fire it home. And KU now with a comfortable 5-goal lead here in the first half. For Watkins, that is her first of the game. On the man up, assisted by Emily Smith. That's her 16th of the season. And, that theme that we talked about a little bit before the game of other players needing to step up. Sure, Sarah Gabriel was good for 3, 4, 5, 6 goals any game, but you've got to get a team effort on the offensive end with a player like that out. And so far, 5 goals and 5 different goal scorers. McCormick, Bowman, Schmidt, Watkins, and Carlucci all on the board with goals in this one. Draw control reset. That's Schmidt once again. She's done a great job in there today. Watkins with a chance to pick it up. Destiny working hard for it. Still unable to come up with it, and she will foul. Looks like that is Hannah Fitzgerald that draws the foul, as the Fighting Scots with a chance to move it forward. Carrying in the midfield, but with nowhere to go. Uplinger back to Fitzgerald. Watkins putting pressure on Fitzgerald. Good steal there by Watkins. Able to strip that out from behind. And now Destiny on the run on the far side. Watkins moves it into the offensive end. KU coming up in support. Cafferata behind the net. Looks like Watkins wanted her. Watkins thinking about a feed out front to Carlucci. She'll find Schmidt in front of the net. Oh, a point-blank chance there for Schmidt. Cannot finish it. But now back behind with Schmidt. Schmidt with a low bouncer and kind of shoveled down there, but McDowell able to maybe get a piece of it. Ends up going wide, but now Cafferata tracks it down. Carlucci back over to Schmidt. On the offensive end, round the key, Schmidt, Bowman, Watkins, Smith, Cafferata, McCormick, and Carlucci for KU. Good little give off there to Watkins. KU using a little bit of that weave. Watkins open on the near end, and the pass just not quite connecting with her from Schmidt, and eventually is picked up by McDowell. So McDowell has been busy back there, not just in attempting to stop some KU shots, but really a lot of loose balls in front of the net, and she's going to have a lot of action today. So better get used to that, as McDowell trying to move it out on the clear, walking out towards the 25-yard line. And as a former goalie, you love doing this, but eventually you're looking for somebody on your team that you can actually connect with, as McDowell finally finds Dobbins, and Dobbins completes the clear. So the Fighting Scots were having trouble in that midfield area and clearing the ball, using McDowell kind of as an extra player in order to complete the clear as a goaltender, and it worked that time, as the Fighting Scots now draw the free position, and that's Maddie Mulcahy, the freshman from Rochester, New York, with it on the near side. But we'll see if Edinboro kind of employs that strategy. When you're having trouble completing the clear, it's nice to have the goaltender involved as a way to kind of fend off the defense. We saw that for KU against Westchester. That was one of the spots where KU really struggled, was in transition in the midfield. And Edinboro has done similarly today. Mulcahy on the free position, whiffs on the pass, but is able to pick it back up and will reset out top. Fighting Scots being a little loose with the ball around the perimeter. Behind the net now, that's number 22, Sophie DePalma. DePalma, spin move with the back, tries the left-handed shot, and it is wide. Did Schmidt get there? No, as Edinboro races to the end line first and will be able to pick it back up on a quick restart here. It was number 6, Olivia Thomas, back out top. Here to Stephanie Cheeto. Cheeto in, shot, and it is deflected by Klein. So Klein had a chance to gather that one up. It goes off the bottom of her stick, deflected back out, and the Fighting Scots make the most of the offensive rebound as Brinkle finds it and puts it in the back. So the first goal for Edinboro, and a big first one, and trying to keep the game within striking distance. Fighting Scots now down 5-1 with 19:44 left here in the first half. The assist on that one, Sophie DePalma. So freshman to freshman, and both from Rochester. So it looks like the Fighting Scots doing a lot of recruiting in that Rochester area. 3 freshmen from Rochester and a lot of players from New York on their roster just in general. But Brinkle, number 1, who took that pass from DePalma, 2 Rochester natives, both freshmen, and Mulcahy, who we've seen in this one, also from Rochester. Interesting enough, a big enough city, but none of them went to the same school. But nonetheless, they have made an impact for the Fighting Scots today, and really just a young roster for Edinboro, as they graduated a lot last year and kind of are dealing with sort of a brand new team, and that has definitely contributed partially to its struggles this year. for Brinkle. That is her 14th of the season. DePalma's 6th assist. DePalma leads the team with 22 goals this year. Anna Leyva second on the team with 20 goals. I don't believe we saw her in the starting lineup today. And I believe, not to speculate, but I know that I was told that one of their better players is injured, and I believe it is Leyva, the 20-goal scorer, not in today, and she leads the team with 30 points. So KU and Edinboro kind of facing the similar task today in lacking their best player, at least from a statistical standpoint, but KU having enough around to look pretty good. As I say that, a rough pass there from Bowman that McCormick really had no chance for, in a turnover for Kutztown, but both teams kind of facing that task of playing without their best player, but KU so far showing that the talent around Gabriel pretty good with the 5-1 lead here. And we're not even to the halfway mark in the first half. Nice play made out there, but it's going to be a foul on McCormick. And she went for the stick check, but caught a little bit too much. Foul called, and reset now for KU. Edinboro looking for the clear, and that is Doran that moves it in to the offensive end. So KU scored the first 5. Edinboro got 1, and now has an opportunity on the offensive end to get a second one and make this game somewhat interesting. That's Brinkle. Now back out top to Cheeto. Fitzgerald works it over to Dobbins. Good pressure by the KU defense. Dobbins able to get inside, and that shot just too hot as it sails high over the net. Luckily for KU, as Dobbins had a great chance in front of goal, and actually a foul going to be called. So I think Dobbins was affected by the foul there in missing the net, and now she'll have a free position right out in front. See if Dobbins elects to go for goal. Looks like she will. Goes for goal. Bounce shot low off the inside of the post and in to the back of the net. Tough one for Klein there. A pinpoint shot there from Dobbins, and now Edinboro answers with 2 in a row and has cut the deficit, or its deficit, down to 3, trailing 5-2 with 18:02 left here in the first half. So just to update you on those other games we talked about, Mercyhurst Lockhaven deadlocked at 3 with 17 minutes left in the first half. And KU won in that comeback from East Stroudsburg. Well, they got it, as ESU has tied this one up against IUP in the second half with 21:32 remaining at 7. Watkins and Fitzpatrick flanking McCormick, who's in there for the Golden Bears for the draw. McCormick, and that's Hannah Fitzgerald for Edinboro. Draw control. Dobbins had a chance at it. Fighting Scots nearly had their 3rd offensive possession in a row, and they're able to come away with it. And that's number 5, Mary Uplinger, who smartly just keeps it with herself and nearly was able to move it into the offensive end. Good stick check there by McCormick. Now KU on the run, and it's Bowman with it. And look at her go. Michaela right down the field into the offensive end. It's a 1-on-2. And smartly will elect to work it around and look for a better shot. That's now Smith with it on the far side. Junior from Philly. Hands off to Watkins. Watkins finds Bowman on the curl. Bowman around. Denied there. Shut off by the Edinboro defense. Bowman looking to get rid of it. Bowman now back to the 1-on-1. Smith going to have a go. Lex better and backs it out to find Carlucci on the far side. Now works behind to Watkins. Back over to Carlucci. KU again being very patient on the offensive end. Haven't scored here in the last couple minutes, but have really looked solid in taking care of the ball. KU running a stacked play here, kind of a misdirection action. The whole team goes one way, and it was Smith that tried to curl for the pass from Watkins, but Edinboro had Smith covered. Now Schmidt into the zone and has to back it out after losing the ball. Loses it again, but somehow comes back up with it. Ball popping up all over the place. And now, looks like in all of that mess, Schmidt going to draw the foul, and now a free position here on the near side. See if Schmidt tries to give this off. She's at a tough angle. Yes, she will. Gives it off to Smith behind the net. Spin move by Smith. And Smith fouled before she's able to get a shot off. So she will now have a free position from basically the same spot that Schmidt did. Nobody on the near side behind the net like last time, so see if KU can kind of overload the box and find that open player. Smith racing to the net, elects to pass it out towards Bowman. That pass way high. And a foul there. It looks like Darcy came over the restraining line, so Edinboro able to get a stop there on the defensive end. And a game that looked like it was getting out of hand quickly. KU was up 5-0. Now the Fighting Scots have a chance to cut it down to 2 as they move it into the offensive zone. Tough pass there, picked up by Vaughn. Vaughn with it. Vaughn doing a nice job moving it out of her own end. And we'll find Schmidt moves it up to Cafferata. Cafferata with plenty of time and space to move it forward. Cafferata looks behind. That's Watkins with it. Having a little trouble catching the ball today, but has been able to stay with it. Fitzpatrick. Now Carlucci. Carlucci surveying. Carlucci, nice take to the hole, and it bounds off the post. Shot clock resets as it hits right off the pipe and pops right out. Bowman towards the net. And Bowman will draw a foul on the inside. So good job by Bowman to stick with that. That shot by Carlucci. It's a nice drive by her to find her spot, and she really had a good chance in front of the net, unfortunately right off the post, but KU keeps it alive. And now Bowman with a golden opportunity here on the free position with 15:07 left in the first half. Bowman in on McDowell. Shot by Bowman, high and over the stick of an outstretched McDowell for a goal for Michaela. That is her second of the game. And a nice job there by Bowman to not try to get too cute with it, just take it to the hole and finish it on the one-on-one with the goaltender. And now KU retakes the 4-goal lead, up 6-2 with 15:06 left here in the first half. Bowman with her second of the game, now up to 23 goals on the season. And Michaela also with an assist here in the first half, so 3 points for Bowman. And we're basically now at the halfway mark here with 15:06 left. So Emily Lieb and Riley Hill checking in for Kutztown. Getting a little rest for some of the starters there. I think that was Watkins and Fitzpatrick that came off, or it may have been hard to see who else it was, but Watkins off, and one other Golden Bear replaced by Hill and Lieb. KU with a 4-goal lead, looking to add more as the Fighting Scots win the draw control, and a foul committed there by Fitzpatrick, so picked up on the draw control by Hannah Fitzgerald, and now Fitzgerald with the opportunity to move it forward. Foul called there. It's going to go on Carlucci, trying to come back to back check there. Now the Fighting Scots in the offensive zone. And have looked good in possession really these last 2 times down after struggling really to find anything on both ends as KU went up 5-0 in the first 6 minutes. Brinkle with it, pressured. Has to give it off. A nice job by KU to double team and force the turnover. As now Smith circles back around. Good pass to the goaltender, Klein. But she's got to be able to come up with that. And if you're going to make that pass back to the goal, you got to rely on Klein to make the catch. She does not. And now Edinboro with a chance after a turnover by KU in its own zone. Brinkle back out top. Hannah Fitzgerald to the net. Backs it out. And now Dobbins with it. And you can really see it, especially on the offensive end. Edinboro just not with a whole lot going on as far as one-on-one's concerned. Just as I say that, Dobbins beats Fitzpatrick on the move. That Ball down on the turf. Scramble for it there on the far end. It's picked up by number 22, Sophie DePalma. DePalma out front looking for Dobbins. Cannot connect. And now KU with it after what was a little helter-skelter possession there. And Smith going to be able to run it all the way out. Smith with nobody around. KU's got numbers. At least a 5-on-4 if they want it. Smith going towards the net. Smith thinks about giving it off. Draws a little bit of defense there. Now going to pass it on the far side to Carlucci. Carlucci up top, finds Bowman. Bowman now looks for Lieb on the near side. Lieb just subbed in. Cafferata behind. Now for Fitzpatrick. Now Smith on the far side. Bowman with it. Again, KU really working it around. And again, Edinboro tried to push its defense out on the last couple offensive possessions for KU. Didn't really work. So now Fighting Scots really packing it in. But KU finds us opening in front. Bowman with the shot. And what a save there by McDowell. Bowman helped her out a little bit by shooting it almost right into the stick. But a nice 1-2 combo from Carlucci to Bowman. But denied there was Bowman by McDowell. And a big save here in the first half. KU could have gotten the lead back to 5. Now the Fighting Scots with a chance on the offensive end. Moving it into the front here. And a shot. And that is a goal there for Maddie Mulcahy. So just like that, that's how quickly the tables can turn, especially in a game like lacrosse. You get a great shot out in front from Bowman. She's denied. And a quick transition play results in a goal for the Fighting Scots as they bring it back down to 3. Down 6-3 with an even 12 minutes left here for Mulcahy. That's her 3rd goal of the season. The assist from Mary Uplinger. And a timeout now taken here by Coach Jackie Stezzi in the first half. So we will step aside with 12 minutes left here from Andre Reed Stadium. And your score KU 6 and Edinboro 3. You're watching Kutztown University Women's Lacrosse on the Golden Bear Network. All right, so after a timeout from KU coach Jackie Stezzi after the score was made 6-3 by Sophie DePalma of Edinboro, we're back in action here. That's going to be Allison McCormick at midfield to take the draw control. 6-3 your score here with 12 minutes left to go in the first half between Edinboro and Kutztown in PSAC women's lacrosse action. Draw control comes down to the Fighting Scots after a scramble for it, and now that is Dobbins on the far side. Dobbins moving forward. Dobbins trying to take on the entire KU team, but now thinks better of it and will dish off to Doran. Again, this is where we've seen the Fighting Scots struggle a little bit, especially getting that ball into the offensive end, but a nice pass there. Connection between Doran and Uplinger, as now Edinboro will have a chance to cut it down to 2, and you got to give the Fighting Scots a lot of credit here for what they've been able to do in the first half. Went down 5-0 and simply looked like they were going to be getting dominated in this game. KU outclassing Edinboro in a big way in the first 5.5 minutes. But the timeout that was taken by Jenny Worth kind of seemed to settle her team down a little bit, and they've certainly got a belief that they can play with Kutztown, and right now they've been able to make the comeback and looking for one more. Nice save there by Klein on a hard shot from Uplinger. Looked like it went off the shin of Klein, but it will stay with Edinboro. That was kind of what we talked about as far as themes are concerned. When you're looking at a big deficit, you just got to find a way to get it down into manageable territory, force the other team to feel a little bit of pressure, and then capitalize. And now I think KU, especially with taking that time out, they're feeling a little bit of pressure. Up 5, now only up 3, and Edinboro with the ball on the offensive end. One-on-one here, good spin dodge there. Flip pass, nice little tricky flip pass, and that was pretty sweet, can't lie, as Cheeto finds Thomas, and she finds the mesh. So Cheeto takes on the double team, spin move, underhanded flip, and Thomas from the impossible angle finishes it over the top of Haley Klein. And I'm not sure if ESPN's tuning into this one, but SportsCenter would surely have one to put up there. Nice play made by the Fighting Scots, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-goal game, and we got ourselves a barn burner here at Andre Reed Stadium. So Edinboro cuts the lead down to 2. Now KU really needing to respond despite being up 2 goals. It's starting to get a little bit of a nail biter here, as it looked like it was going to be a relatively easy win. But now, most important thing, get the draw control, get yourself in possession. When you've been on the offensive end, you've been pretty good. But these last couple draw controls have gone the way of the Fighting Scots, and this one does too, as that's Fitzgerald picking it up. That one checked away from Fitzgerald. Good defense there by McCormick. Finds Cafferata. Cafferata has Bowman wide open on the doorstep, but elects not to go that way, as now Lieb with the ball behind the net. Bowman on the far side. Fitzgerald down on the turf. Gets up, but looks to be feeling the worst of that one. Hopefully she is okay. Grabbing at her head and neck. But for now, we play on. Bowman on the near side. Save there by McDowell. But again, second time in a row, and not to be too critical, but Bowman takes a shot that goes right at the stick. And the goalie with that big catching radius that they have with the bigger stick, it's not really a tough shot to handle when it ends up right in the mesh. Simply just stand there and make the save. Bowman maybe will look to go low on her next shot attempt. Hill, far side. Lieb. Now Smith. Good job by KU there in the midfield to force a turnover, as Edinboro was able to get another stop on the defensive end and could have had another chance. But now KU with it back in possession. Bowman finding Fitzpatrick on the far side. Fighting Scots really packing it in. Kind of use the football field as a vantage point. Really no Edinboro players extending past that 10-yard line area, keeping themselves packed in and kind of daring KU to just pass it around the perimeter, but not allowing anything easy in front of the net. KU running a little bit of screen action. Shot there by Carlucci, and she will draw the free position. But this screen play out top, I mean, sure, it creates a little bit of confusion for the defense, but when the defense isn't right on you, the screen just relatively ineffective. That time Carlucci able to draw a foul, though. And Maddie with a good opportunity now, as KU really needs a goal. Carlucci to the net. Carlucci shot, and it dings off the pipe. So second one off the pipe in the last couple possessions, and it ends up in the stick of McDowell, and McDowell going to have a chance to move it forward. Sauces a high pass that will connect there with her fellow teammate. Found in the middle is Meredith Doran. Doran racing upfield. Has Fitzpatrick to beat, but Fitzpatrick kind of just pushing her into the corner, and Doran will draw the foul after completing the clear. Thorne with it out top. Looking now for Brinkle, who now finds Dobbins, and the Fighting Scots are going to be able to go to work here. Plenty of time on the shot clock, and with a chance to cut the lead down to 1, as Edinboro has shown a lot of resiliency here in the first half, responding to that adversity of being down by 5 goals. Back out top. Now Brinkle with it. On the defensive end, that's Darcy back there kind of on the ball. Smith, Layne, Fitzpatrick, Hill, Vaughn, all on the inside. That ball taken away for a moment. Darcy not able to pick it up at first, but now comes away with it, and she will attempt to move it forward. Darcy shut off to the end line, but a foul called there on Dobbins. Reset. Darcy finds Bowman. Bowman taking on a triple team in the middle of the field. Somehow comes out of that alive and will now take it forward. Bowman into the offensive end. Now passes it back out to Smith. Smith. Good dodge on the inside and a foul called. So I think for KU, you've got to really capitalize in transition at this point in the game. Edinboro, once you're able to set up your offense, is very content to pack it in and keep you from that middle area. You got to look to score early. Look for that early offense in transition to neutralize that. Shot by Smith, low and good. So Smith with a much-needed goal for Kutztown, as that'll put the Golden Bears back up by 3 as they take a 7-4 lead. Smith with a smart shot that was just too low and too fast for goaltender Candace McDowell to get a piece of. And we've seen McDowell good on the shots that have been high and near her stick area. So for KU, continue to shoot that ball low, as Smith able to finish that, and she will check out, getting a much-needed breather for Destiny Watkins, who's going to replace Smith. Those other games around the league, ESU has taken a 10-9 lead over IUP with 13 minutes left in that one. So we'll keep you updated on all that action with 6:32 left in the first half between Mercyhurst and Lock Haven. Lock Haven with a 6-4 lead. Draw control comes down to Fitzpatrick. Now KU with a chance to really retake the momentum after going up 3 and looking for more. Fitzpatrick looking for that early offense, but will now decide to back it out. And you see McDowell kind of acting as an extra defender. And for a freshman, she's shown some pretty good confidence in the net, willing to kind of stray from in between the pipes and act as that extra player for her team on the field. And you need that, especially in a game like this for the Fighting Scots. Bowman all the way to the net, cannot be denied, but looks like before she got the shot off, she drew a foul. But sometimes you question Bowman. She tends to take it herself, sometimes a little too much, but today she has done well with that, beating several double teams and took on about 3 Fighting Scot defenders and was able to get to the net. So a free position now for Michaela with 6:04 left. Chance for KU to go back up 4. Bowman, who was denied by McDowell a few times shooting high, goes high again, and it's wide as Cafferata will pick it up behind the net. Lieb finds Bowman up top. Bowman finds Lieb on the curl. Good little 2-player game work there between Bowman and Lieb, but now Lieb going to dump it off on the far side of Watkins around the perimeter. Wide open Cafferata behind. Again, Edinboro really packing it in. Content to let KU pass it around the perimeter, and I think they know that if they get into a game where they're trying to go one-on-one, it's not going to be good for them. But if they play that team defense and use the switching effectively, they'll be able to do so. But Bowman takes it to the net, and I think before the foul was called, yes, it was a goal there for Bowman as she finishes on the far side. A foul going to be called, or was going to be called, but Bowman able to get to the net for her 3rd of the first half, and now that's a hat trick for Michaela, and KU back up 4. So kind of as this game has gone, it's really been a momentum has shifted several times. KU getting the first 5 surely had everything going its way. Then Edinboro cutting the lead down to 6-4, so scoring 4 out of the next 5 goals really made it interesting. But now KU showing its prowess here in scoring late in the half, getting 2 to extend its lead back to 4. 5:25 left here now in the first half. First half that has not been short of goals, 12 goals combined. But now KU really has an opportunity again, as it did early in the game, up 5, to either run away with it or allow Edinboro to stay in the game. First time, definitely let Edinboro work its way back in. KU looking to put the Fighting Scots away. Here up 4 and looking for more. That's Fitzpatrick on the run. Early offense is there if she wants it. Fitzpatrick, Bowman, you betcha. And Bowman, that is now 4 for Michaela. So she beats McDowell on that. And not that I necessarily know what I'm talking about, but that's 2 plays now. Early offense bodes well for KU. Instead of working it around, look to get it right to the net. And Bowman finishes it. Nice feed there from Fitzpatrick. And just like that, KU back to a 5-goal lead, up 9-4. So now KU up 5 in a spot that they were at earlier in the game, and now the opportunity to run away with it as we approach 5 minutes left here in the first half. But the Fighting Scots, again, fighting as they come away with the draw control, and that's Brinkle into the attacking zone, and Brinkle draws the foul. So sometimes it can be a little reckless to kind of just take it into the zone, but it's a good job there by Brinkle, similar to what we've seen from KU in the last few possessions. When the defense is out of position and outnumbered in certain cases, you might as well go in there and take advantage of it in transition. Backing it out and working the ball around just allows the defense time to set up, and frankly, it makes it harder to score. And now Edinboro forced to back it out after the foul as Fitzgerald is found out front. Fitzgerald in towards the net. Fitzgerald draws the foul as it's going to go there on Schmidt. And now she will have an opportunity, Fitzgerald will, on the free position. Fitzgerald with 7 goals on the season. Looking for number 8. The shot there, easily handled by Klein. And for Fitzgerald, that's just simply too easy of a shot for Klein. And she makes quick work of it, as that one was headed right for her midsection if she did not catch it. Back behind, that is De Palma. Edinboro able to get the ball back after the save by Klein. And a reset shot clock now ticking down towards 70 seconds left. Fighting Scots again. Looking for something here. That was Uplinger trying to get inside. Good denial there by Schmidt. Back out top. That's Fitzgerald. She's got nowhere to go. Wild motions with the stick as it's dumped off now to Mulcahy back up top. And that's Cheeto with it. Near side, Lindsey Brinkle. Brinkle thought about it for a second. Good dish off there, but it cannot be handled, but it's picked up now. Back out across the goal. Great steal made there by Schmidt on the inside. So the Fighting Scots were getting a little tricky with their passing as they tried to find the easy one on the back post, and Schmidt comes out of nowhere really to make the denial and what certainly would have been a goal if the pass was completed. So a good defensive play by Schmidt. And one of the reasons that I like Lauren Schmidt as a player is she's able to do it in a multitude of ways. And we've seen her on the offensive end already today getting a goal. And in the midfield, she's been effective as well. That's her primary position. But doing a nice job on the defensive end, making that stop and causing the turnover there. But then that pass to Riley Hill unable to be completed. And it looks like that's going to be a foul in the midfield. So the Fighting Scots are back now in the offensive end. Near side, that is Mulcahy. Drops it, but then picks it back up. Edinboro really needing to value this possession. Could be their last one of the half, and just got to find a way again to chip away, as it was able to do kind of in that midway portion of the half. Chip away and continue to kind of keep this at a distance that at least it has a chance. But a turnover there. Now Fitzpatrick moving it forward And KU, if it wants to go, can, but a foul there by Brinkle on Devin as the freshman from Marlton, New Jersey, on the reset. And now Fitzpatrick finds Bowman, who had a head of steam, but will now go back out to collect herself. Lauren Schmidt with it. Schmidt finds Lieb. Lieb cannot make the catch. Hopefully it'll stay in bounds for KU. Yes, it will. Lieb able to track it down on the far side and find Bowman. Less than 2 minutes left here now in the half. 9-4, KU leads. Near side, Fitzpatrick. Looking for Cafferata out in front. Doesn't find her. Now we'll back it out to Schmidt. Schmidt, Bowman. Bowman with 4 goals already. Looking to add. Bowman, great dish there to Cafferata. Out of her stick, back to Bowman. Spin move by Bowman, and a shot is wide. Carlucci behind the net will track it down as KU stays in possession. But a good thought there by Bowman. She had a look at it, and when you've already got 4, you might as well let it rip. That time a little wide, but KU stays with it. Near side pass from Carlucci to Watkins, and Watkins draws the foul now. Watkins with the free position on the far side as the clock ticks down towards a minute left here. The reset from Watkins. Watkins to the net. Shot low and past McDowell. So Watkins gets her second of the half. And KU doing exactly what it needed to close out this first half after things got a little interesting there. After giving up what was a 5-goal lead, it got cut down to 2, and Edinboro had the ball. But then KU was able to respond with 3 in a row of its own and has a 10-4 lead now with 58 seconds left in the half. And is KU able to make the turnaround? It's seeing the turnaround. If it's doing any scoreboard watching, it's seeing the turnaround it wanted from ESU, who is now up 12-9 with just 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in that game. So if IUP does not make the comeback, they will drop to 3-3 in the league. And if KU can win this one, they'd be tied now with both Millersville and IUP at 3-3, pending the result of the Lockhaven-Mercyhurst game. Right now, Lockhaven, with 12 seconds left in the half, first half, has a 7-5 lead over Mercyhurst. Draw controlled by Schmidt. And you could tell Schmidt wanted to go, and Edinboro was able to stop her, but only for a moment on the foul. Reset, Schmidt finds Watkins, 45 seconds left in the half. KU going to have to work quickly. Bowman on the far side, that's Carlucci. Carlucci surveying, knowing she's got plenty of time, looking for that final opportunity to open the lead to 7 before halftime. And that's kind of to the point where you can basically say at least one nail is in the coffin. Shot there on the inside, and a goal by Cafferata, who curled around the net, kind of snuck up on everybody on the back door. Bowman found Cafferata. Cafferata found the back of the net, and now KU up 11-4, and this one is officially out of hand here in the first half. So Michaela Bowman doing her best Sarah Gabriel impression today. Bowman with 6 points here in the first half. I believe that's Michaela's second assist, and to add to 4 goals. And for Cafferata, that's her first, and she is now the 7th different goal scorer for KU here in the first half. Like we said, you're going to need contributions from everybody else on offense with Gabriel out. Well, you've certainly gotten that here in the first half, with Bowman with 4, Watkins with 2, Carlucci, Schmidt, Cafferata, McCormick, and Smith all with 1. KU looking to really pile it on. 6 seconds left. Bowman should just throw it out in front. She will. That's too hot to handle for Schmidt, but KU won't worry about it too much as the first half comes to a close here from Andre Reed Stadium with KU all over Edinboro, leading 11-4. We'll be back here just before the second half to run down the first half stats and to get you more action here from Andre Reed Stadium. Again, KU leading Edinboro 11-4 at the end of the first half. You're watching Kutztown University Women's Lacrosse on the Golden Bear Network. Back here from Andre Reed Stadium for the beginning of the second half. KU all over Edinboro, leading 11-4. First half, KU outshot the Fighting Scots 19-10. 15 ground balls for KU compared to 7 for Edinboro. 8 draw controls apiece, and that's really how the Fighting Scots chipped back away into what was a 5-0 deficit to begin the game. But KU went on a big run there to complete the half, scoring the last 5 goals to take the 11-4 lead, and looking to add on to it. Schmidt out in front. Backs out. KU going right to left here in the second half. KU 7 for 10 on its clears in the first half. 4 for 7 for the Fighting Scots. 4 for 6 for KU on free position shots compared to 1 for 2 for Edinboro. 14 turnovers for the Fighting Scots compared to 7 for KU. 5 saves for Edinboro goalie Candace McDowell, and 4 for KU goalie Haley Klein. Back out in front, quick stick there, and Schmidt had a great opportunity on the feed from Carlucci, but went just wide as it's taken by Cafferata behind the net. Carlucci now looking to feed out in front, and now finds Bowman. Carlucci has kind of taken that primary role in that X spot behind the goal today and has really done an excellent job in facilitating the KU offense, but at that time, almost a turnover there, but picked up again by Carlucci, and she's going to back it out, has some pressure on her, but easily shifts away from that, now finds Cafferata on the near side. Cafferata's got Carlucci right in front if she wants her. Carlucci whips around and takes a no-look shot that is high and over the net. Good thought there by Carlucci, but little ambitious to say the least, but this time she gets one point-blank range and does not miss. McCormick to Carlucci, and Maddie gets the goal there to get KU on the board here first in the second half and to take a 12-4 lead. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, and first time Carlucci's shot was way off, but the second time she picks the pocket and finds it in the back of the net. That's 2 goals in the game for Carlucci to make it 15 for the season. Assist there by Allison McCormick. That'll give us some time to mention. So that goal by Michaela Bowman, scored at the end of the first half, was the 100th point of Michaela's career. So congratulations to Michaela for passing that milestone in what has been an excellent game for the junior from Lansdale in having 6 points in the first half, as Bowman was able to get that goal before the end of the half, and now KU gets the big goal to start it out, put itself up 8, and we've talked about maybe magic numbers of 5 that you can't come back from. The magic number really is 10. KU can get up 10, that running clock will get going, and I think everybody up here in the press box would like to see that. Fitzgerald. Edinboro after winning the draw control, that's Brinkle with it. Fighting Scots working it around, but having a little trouble handling the ball so far. Two-player game work there between Cheeto and Dobbins. Dobbins inside. Little room for Brinkle. High shot, and Brinkle is knocked to the turf, and a foul called there, as Brinkle will earn the free position after taking the contact on the inside. Let's see, that game has now gone final between ESU and IUP. ESU with the 14-10 win. So KU got to be happy to see that. Sure, it'll move the Warriors to 6-1, but really when you're looking to crack the playoffs in that 6th spot, a good thing to see there for IUP to take a loss, moving down to 3-3, and you can tie yourselves up with the Hawks, that Crimson Hawks that came into this one ranked number 21 in the country. Free position there, saved by Klein, and KU able to move it back forward here with Fitzpatrick and the ball in the midfield. Yeah, KU will be tied with IUP, provided this result stands up at 3-3 in the league. And a big win for ESU. Shot, takes it herself, does McCormick, and looking good on the offensive end as McCormick finds that one through the 5-hole of McDowell. And now we're just one away, as the score going to be extended now to 13-4. And everyone loving it here. KU doing a little rowing celebration. Like the celebration, team celebration, very well executed, all going at the same time. Haven't really seen that one before, but Coach Stezzi seemed to like it, and I think at this point she can't really complain much about what she's seen out on the field. 13-4 lead for KU. And it looks like McDowell is going to be pulled and replaced by number 19, Kaitlyn Bonauto, the freshman from Cannonsburg. Hopefully just for playing time's sake, because McDowell did all she could in the net. It's just she doesn't really have a whole lot of help out in front of her, and not much you can do as a goaltender, especially in lacrosse. Most times you're pretty helpless in between the pipes. You're just kind of hoping to make a save. So McDowell, I thought, had a pretty good day, but she will be pulled and replaced by Bonauto. Two freshman goalies, and kind of maybe just trying to feel out who's going to step up. But in a game like this, good to see the other tender getting an opportunity. Wide open is Bowman in front. Bowman with a high shot, and she's kicking herself because she cannot believe she missed that point-blank opportunity on the doorstep. Bowman back in front. Finds Smith. Smith one-on-one. Oh, wow. Makes the defender look silly. That was Fitzgerald who got undressed on the move there by Smith. And Smith easily able to score on the bounce shot. And, folks, that's the lucky number as KU is now up 10. And the clock should be running, I believe, or maybe running clock won't start until after the whistle gets blown. But in my estimation, the clock should definitely be running now as 26:35 left. And KU up 10 with a 14-4 lead. And I think for all of us up here as well, hoping to see Olivia Haas get a little bit of playing time, the former Edinboro player, senior that works in the sports information office here at KU. Be nice to see Olivia get a little run today with her team up 10. But until then, we will continue to play on. Clock is running, and KU is up 10. Draw control. Bouncing around there in midfield. Watkins had a chance at it. Knocked out of her stick by Dobbins, who then had it knocked away by Smith. But I think a foul there on Smith, as resetting now is Dobbins and the Fighting Scots. Dobbins up top, far side. Now Edinboro looking to cut the deficit down, trailing by 10. Good defense out top by Watkins. Maybe a little too aggressive, but job there by Destiny to knock it away. Looks like a foul is going to be called on her. And now that's Dobbins with the ball on the reset. 24:03 left in the Mercyhurst-Lockhaven game. Lockhaven now leading by 4. So it looks like, barring a big comeback by the Lakers, who have plenty of time, but trailing by 4, Lockhaven feeling pretty comfortable at home. So it looks like Mercyhurst will drop to 4-2 in the league, while Lockhaven will improve to 4-2. So KU would have loved to see Lockhaven go down as well with where it's at in the conference, but at least was able to get a loss from IUP, which will drop the Crimson Eagles down to, with KU at 3-3, provided they're able to get a result in this one. And KU with a very winnable game in its next one against Slippery Rock, a team that's going to be really another one of those squads fighting for that last spot in the playoffs. Slippery Rock getting a big 12-10 win yesterday against Millersville. And they will not play again until Wednesday against this Edinboro team. So Slippery Rock with a couple, or actually the game, so I was looking at the composite schedule, so it looks like we are playing Slippery Rock at home here on Monday, but that is not on the conference website, so my mistake. So Slippery Rock's next game will be against KU here on Monday, and then they will travel to Edinboro for a game on Wednesday. On Wednesday will travel to ESU after playing Slippery Rock on Monday at the end of the 4-game homestand. Ball behind the net, Cafferata. That one's picked up, though, by Doran and moved out. Foul occurs on the offensive end down there. Looks like it's going to go on Cheeto. She did go down, but she'll have the ball on the reset, and it's actually going to be a card there on Devin Fitzpatrick. So Fitzpatrick going to the box here for the next 2 minutes as Edinboro will be a player up. And for KU, you got to think about one thing here is just forcing a turnover and then trying to play keep away, as being a player down is a big disadvantage. Back behind the net. Again, the Fighting Scots playing player up right now. That's Cheeto with it. Inside spin move onto the left hand. Good shot attempt, and she rips it right past Klein. And unfortunately, that's going to cut the deficit back down to 9. So the clock will stop here with 23-29 left in this game. And KU up 14-5. So another action today for KU teams. The track and field teams competing in their second day at the Colonial Relays. And that's really it for KU today. The baseball games scheduled at Lockhaven today were moved to tomorrow. So a doubleheader for KU at number 18 Lockhaven after splitting yesterday. And also women's golf playing at the Spring Invitational tomorrow at noon. Doesn't really feel like golf weather outside, but nonetheless, the Golden Bears will be out on the links tomorrow hosting the Kutztown Invitational at Musselman Springs Country Club. Also, the men's tennis team will be at Roberts Wesleyan tomorrow, and that pretty much does it for the action here. And a goal scored, actually, while giving you the update. So a goal scored, it looks like it's going to be by Emily Smith. So that's number 29, Emily Smith, that gets the goal. And just like that, I think maybe the KU players didn't want to see that running clock stop, so they get it right back up to 10, and the clock starts going once again as it ticks down towards the 22-minute mark left here in the second half. We talked about kind of just previewing the week ahead. Women's lacrosse team back here at Andre Reed Stadium on Monday, April 9th for a 1 o'clock game, so an afternoon game on a Monday against Slippery Rock. On April 9th, women's golf team will be at an invitational, the Edwin B. Cottrell Invitational on the 9th and the 10th. Men's tennis and women's tennis at Bloomsburg on Tuesday. Baseball will then host Lemoyne in a doubleheader on Wednesday. The women's lacrosse team will be at East Stroudsburg that day. And then this weekend, men's and women's track hosting the Monshine Multi events right here. And baseball with a doubleheader on Friday against East Stroudsburg. Softball traveling to the Warriors on Friday for a doubleheader as the softball team looks for their first PSAC win. Back in the offensive end is KU, and we'll see if it's content to kind of let the clock tick down. Looks like that's Olivia Haas getting warmed up down there. So we may see her make an entrance into the game here shortly, but that's Michaela Bowman with it up top. Bowman off to Schmidt, and that is too easy. Nice bounce shot there from Schmidt. Feed from Bowman. And that's 7 points now for Michaela. And another goal for KU. For Smith, that is a hat trick, so that's her third of the game. That's Schmidt, so that's her second of the game to add to an assist. So 3 points for Schmidt. Smith, who scored that last one, with a hat trick today. So 4 goals for Bowman to lead the way, 3 assists, 7 points for Michaela, 3 goals, 2 assists for Emily Smith, 5 points for her, 2 goals for Carlucci, Watkins, Schmidt, and McCormick, and 1 for Cafferata. So KU getting it done in a variety of ways today, even without Sarah Gabriel not missing a beat on the offensive end, up 11 and looking to add. Draw control Not controlled for a second. McCormick kind of just shoveling it forward. And eventually may come down with it. Yes, she will. As it took a lot of work to pick up that ground ball. But eventually McCormick comes down with it and draws the foul on the far side. So good work there by Allison. And she'll move it into the offensive end, finding a wide open Lieb. Lieb nearly had it knocked away from behind, but finds Carlucci. Schmidt looking for Fitzpatrick in front. Now looking to go back post to Lieb. Nothing there. And Schmidt, who just scored, will now survey. In front and shot and goal. So McCormick takes the feed from Schmidt, and she shows that not only can she score it, but she can pass it as McCormick is found by Schmidt. And I believe that is now the second or the third goal of the game for McCormick. So 3 hat tricks thus far today. Smith, McCormick, and Bowman. And like we said, that KU offense now firing on all cylinders here in the second half as they have limited the Fighting Scots to just 1 goal and scored 6 of their own. And KU, independently of the Westchester game, has really been a solid team in the second half, outscoring Bloomsburg 9-1 in the second half, outscoring Gannon 7-2 in the second half. So 2 of their last 3 games, and then you add to this one, and 3 of their last 4 really have been dominant in the second half of play. And whether that's a credit to some halftime adjustments or just the team knowing how to finish off games, that's something that bodes well for you as the season progresses. Especially when you're in games against tougher teams, you're probably going to be looking at a deficit after the opening half. And if you can make a comeback like you've been able to do, or if you've been able to outscore teams in that second half, that can certainly pay dividends for your squad. Upfield and into the offensive end, that is Hannah Fitzgerald. Clock runs down awfully quick when it starts to run, as it seemed like it took about an hour to get to the halfway mark of the first half, and we're nearly there already here in the second half with KU up 12. Nice play made there by McCormick on the defensive end, and Carlucci is off to the races. She could take it all the way if she wants. Coast to coast, Carlucci coming into the zone, and a nice back check there by Doran, who never gave up on the play, and knocks it away from Carlucci. Lieb ends up with it, finds McCormick on the far side. McCormick now up top to Schmidt. Schmidt way out here by the perimeter, and is just going to assess the situation and back it out. Olivia Haas makes her way into the game, gets it behind the net, and she will control and pass off there to Cafferata. Cafferata finds Lieb. Up top, that's Schmidt. Thought about it. Circling around, but nothing found there so far. Now that's Cafferata with it again. Like to see KU milking the clock at this point, up 12 goals. Sure, you'll take a couple more if you can get them. Might as well get a shot off, but certainly not only the smart thing to do, but the sporting thing to do in running the clock down and trying not to really pile it on here, as I'm sure you could. Ground ball back behind the net. Picked up. And dished off there to Cafferata. Cafferata out front looking for Schmidt, but it cannot connect, as I think it was deflected there and comes down to the goaltender, Kaitlyn Bonauto, who tosses a pass up into the heavens, and somehow it finds the stick of Brinkle. Little divine intervention there for Brinkle, and she ends up taking it all the way to the hole. So I'm not sure from our stat team here, is the goalie going to get an assist on that one? I certainly think she should, but nonetheless, Bonauto finds Brinkle. Brinkle races to pay dirt and finishes it in the back of the net. So it looks like that's going to be an unassisted goal for Brinkle, her 15th of the season and 2nd of the game. So I pushed for it, but no assist for the goalie, as Bonauto not helped out here. Maybe if she was playing in Edinboro, she would have gotten an assist, but no dice for Kaitlyn. But Lindsey Brinkle gets on the board. 2nd goal of the game, like we said, 15th of the season. And the score 17-6 now with just about close to 15 minutes So like we said, that halfway point coming quick here in the second half. And I see some substitutions. That is Schmidt and Fitzpatrick out. And it looks like that was Smith coming back in along with McCormick. Didn't see exactly who the second one was in there, but it looks like KU given the opportunity, rightfully so, to some players who don't see as much time on the field. Especially with knowing that Gabriel could be out here for a few games, you definitely want to keep your team's legs as fresh as possible, dealing a little bit undermanned, and in a game that you certainly have the result secured. Emily Smith, now into the offensive end, finds Emily Lieb. Back to Smith. Looking inside. It's Haas with it. Back behind the net. Now Cafferata. Cafferata looking for Carlucci on the cut. Now finds Smith on the near side. Smith working it around. Watkins up top. Watkins looking for a cutter from behind the net. But KU just letting that time tick away. Lieb inside, way too hot to handle. Is that going to find the back of the net? It nearly did. I don't know how, as it was deflected off of a Fighting Scott stick. It was rolling around towards the goal line. Somehow Bonauto kept it out. But Lieb almost had the most fortuitous bounce there I've seen, as it nearly finds its way over the end line. But Edinboro able to dodge that one. And now moving it out as a foul called on McCormick. 2-on-1 here as Doran has to find a way to get rid of it, drawing all kinds of KU defense as the Bears are swarming here in the second half. But eventually, ball comes down, and the Fighting Scots move it forward with Olivia Thomas on the ball. Thomas back behind, working it around, back up top. Now that's Uplinger. That's Candace Graham. Don't think we've said her name today. The freshman from Shaker Heights, Ohio, with it. Inside. And now back out. De Palma, back to De Palma. And a save there by Klein, as she is right there to deny De Palma on the opportunity. Nice save by Haley Klein. Popped it right up in the air to herself and makes the play. Smith on the run. Pass there. Mishandled by Taylor Small. So that one, Smith on the pass. Small really had an opportunity to do better with it, but Smith quickly gets it back anyway, as Smith now finds Haas on the run. No numbers, though, as she will back it out and find Smith up top. Back behind Cafferata. Haas, Carlucci, Lieb. Cafferata, Smith, Schmidt. Watkins. All out there for KU on the offensive end along with McCormick. That's Lieb with it. She draws a double team, nearly turns it over, loses it for a second. Is KU going to come away with it? Yeah, and Emily Smith will come away with it. And she's really been everywhere the ball's been out today and has had herself an excellent game on all ends. Smith and Schmidt, say that 5 times fast, have been really good for KU. Inside to Carlucci, bounce shot wide. Cafferata tracks it down behind, trying to kind of move it to herself as there was a scramble for it. But the Fighting Scots draw the foul there and will be able to move it out of their own end. That is Abigail Juswick, the freshman from Allison Park, Pennsylvania, for the Fighting Scots. So talked about Edinboro having a young team, but looking at their roster, you can see just how young they are as Doran moving it into the offensive end. 15 freshmen on the Edinboro roster. So maybe not, certainly not the Fighting Scots this year, but got to be optimistic about things to come. A lot of freshmen getting a lot of playing time, and for a program kind of trying to press the reset button after having a lot of seniors graduate last year, certainly bodes well. I mean, there's definitely things, like we said, for KU in the Westchester game. Despite losing in what was pretty much, or what's very much a one-sided game, there's a lot of things to take away from a game despite a loss. And for Edinboro, one, it's got to look back and see what it did so well there after going down by 5 to make it a game in the first half, 6-4. And also, just try to take some sort of learning experience out of a game like this. And I'm sure the Fighting Scots have had a lot of those learning experiences this year. Now sitting at 0-6 and most likely going to 0-7 in conference play. Free position out front. Just about 10 minutes left here. Shot is in there from Brinkle. And it's back to a 10-goal game as Edinboro makes the score 17-7. And a little bit of foreshadowing there, but we were correct in saying that Lock Haven would take that game as they had only a 3 or 4 goal lead, but now they're up 6 with 13 minutes to go over Mercyhurst. So Lock Haven going to get the win most likely today and move to 4-2. Mercyhurst will move themselves down to 4-2. And that really won't affect the table much as far as KU is concerned. But KU should be tied with both Millersville and IUP, who lost today. So both those teams should be sitting at 3-3, or all three of those teams sitting at 3-3, in what's going to be a fight to the finish for that last playoff spot. KU over the next 20 days, or next 3 weeks really, with 7 remaining conference games. And we talked about this homestand is going to be one that you're going to point to if you're Coach Stezzi and the reason that you did or didn't make the playoffs. And so far, you've won both games in Bloomsburg, which was a tough one that you pulled out a great victory in, and Edinboro that you were expected to win. And now you have a chance to go 3 out of 4 here in a stretch of 4 games in 6 days. Granted, all at home, but definitely taxing for the team and how much they've been playing lately. Going to be important to come out energized like it did today against Slippery Rock, who is a little bit better of a team than Edinboro. And we're assuming Gabriel will still be out, so that will definitely require another good effort from the Golden Bears on Monday afternoon to get a win. Draw control. Midfield, 10:05 left. Not sure why the clock was stopped, but it'll get started up right again here as we play on. Foul called at midfield. That's Fitzgerald with it. Moving it into the offensive end, and Fitzgerald all the way to the goal, and she will draw the free position. So Fitzgerald now with the opportunity to get her team's second goal in a row here and get the deficit back down under 10. And for nothing else, Edinboro hasn't given up, and that one is in. Klein has no idea how it went in. Actually thought that she kept it out, was frustrated with herself. But that'll be a goal for Fitzgerald on the free position and make the score 17-8. But again, when you talk about things to take out of a game that's very much one-sided, if you're Jenny Worth, you got to be happy with the fight that your team has shown, not only going down 5 goals and coming back to cut it down to a 2-goal deficit in the first half, but then kind of being dominated by Kutztown towards the end of the first half and at the beginning of the second. And your team has shown no quit now as scorer in the second half, Kutztown 6 and Edinboro 4. KU with the 17-8 lead, but has certainly been able, Edinboro's certainly been able to kind of fight to the finish line. So no more running clock here. And KU comes away with the draw control. That's Watkins on offense. Destiny, nice move there to the inside. Thought she was going to shoot it with the left. Tries passing it off, but it is deflected away and scrambled for, ball rolling around everywhere. And last touched by KU as Edinboro going to retake possession in its own end. So again, Fighting Scots continuing to fight as they now move it forward and looking for more. And for KU, that's number 26, Leslie Layne. Don't think we've mentioned her name as well, but she's getting a little bit of run today. Obviously, with the game's result all but completed, good opportunity for Coach Stezzi to get some of those players in, and we've seen her do that here in the last couple minutes. Around the net, good pass, wide open, nothing Klein could do. Good feed there. That was 22. Sophie DePalma with the feed. And Fighting Scots love it. They don't care that they're down by 8 goals. They'll certainly take them any way they can get. It's been a tough season for Edinboro, and they're happy to see teammate get a goal. I think that's number 13, Desiree Doucet, sophomore from Tonawanda, New York. Gets herself a goal, and whether it's Doucet, maybe another one of those players that doesn't get a whole lot of time, haven't really seen much from her, but she's certainly able to get the goal there, and good to see here, even as the game's result decided. See somebody that doesn't get as much time like Doucet finding her way into the scoring column. So now 17-9, 8:29 left here in the second half. Draw control. One there by Brinkle. Whistle blows, and Brinkle able to reset. Fighting Scots still very much into the game. And again, you like to see that. While most will say there are no moral victories, I think for Edinboro, you've got to have some confidence and be encouraged about not only what you've seen from your team today, but about the youth and inexperience of a lot of the players on the field and how they've still been able to be effective and show no quit. That, as they're able to develop their skills and ability as a team, if that can stay, that's kind of the mark of what makes a good team. It's not only having the talent and the ability, but having that drive in order to continue to play regardless of the score. Ball down, not picked up there by Fitzpatrick. Scramble forward in front. And it looks like I'm going to get somebody on a penalty here. Yes, it looks like a foul is called, and the Fighting Scots will be forced to give it back over, as that is Kayla Kearns, the freshman from Bethlehem, with it. So Coach Stezzi really emptying it out. Kearns out there. That's Georgiana Saxon with it. And looks like she's going to move it into the offensive end. Going to really test me with the names now, as I'm pretty good with players that we see often as far as the numbers are concerned, a.k.a. Schmidt, and now Watkins with the ball. But I may have to look down a few times here. Some players in there I am not as familiar with. That's 24 on the far side, Sarah Killian, redshirt freshman from Ridley Park. Passing back behind to Olivia Haas, running right through the middle and finding Fitzpatrick. Finds Schmidt on the far side. Schmidt looking for Fitzpatrick. Now back around. Finds Haas. Got Layne. That's Leslie Layne with it. Layne thought about it. Got it on the right hand. And now Fitzpatrick works it around to Killian. KU really just playing keep away at this point. 20 seconds left on the shot clock and 6:25 left in the game. Content to let it run all the way down and then see if you can't get a look for somebody that doesn't usually get a whole lot of PT. Be nice to see KU get a goal from one of the reserves today, but a foul called there on the offensive end. Looked like a moving screen was called, and now back forward go the Fighting Scots, but KU still able to work the possession down smartly. Fitzpatrick nearly broke that pass up in the midfield, but it's picked up there by Cheeto. Nice move made there, and she will dump it off, and nearly stolen again by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick not giving up, regardless of her team's big lead. And she's giving you the effort that you want to see if you're Coach Stezzi. Now Cheeto into the zone. Shot far, little wide, but is tracked down by Doucet as she will reset. Approaching 5 minutes left here in this one. All KU up 17-9. And Cheeto on the spin move. Pass directed for no one. And hits the ground, and a scramble for it, but a foul called as KU will be able to move it out. So kind of just to update you on the way this game went, KU scores the first 5 goals, goes up 5-0. This looks like it's going to be a blowout early on in the first 5 minutes, being up 5-0. But Edinboro had something to say about that, scoring 4 of the next 5 to make it 6-4. But then KU stormed back in a big way, going on another 5-0 run to end the first half with the score 11-4. And that really just propelled the Golden Bears into the second half, as they had leads as big as 12, but now lead comfortably by 8 here with less than 5 minutes left. KU outscoring Edinboro 6-5 here in the second half. Granted, the Fighting Scots' last couple goals have come with KU's reserve unit on the field. Uplinger with it, finding Dobbins. Racing to the net. Good save there by Klein. So shot was ripped there by Maddie Mulcahy, but Klein makes the save and now is able to dish it out of harm's way to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick looking for Layne. Nice catch there, as she had to deal with being shielded by number 1 Lindsey Brinkle. Layne carrying it upfield with the left hand, and now back onto the right, and she will look inside. Good feed there to Watkins. Oh, Watkins, if she could have came down clean with it, might have been able to spin and rip it. But nice play there by Layne, as Watkins actually draws the free position. So Layne able to kind of create that offensive chance. And now Watkins will see if she can't convert on the free position. Watkins to the net. Bounce shot off the inside of the goaltender Bonauto's leg and stays out. Looked like for a second she did not know where it was at. Pass from behind the net from Carlucci is tracked down by Fitzpatrick. Haas, nowhere to go with it. Now finds Fitzpatrick. Back up to Watkins on the far side. That's Saxon. Now Schmidt. Schmidt finds Killian. Killian back up top. Haas to the net. Her team employing her on, and she's able to draw a foul, it looked like. But advantage will be played on the inside. And now the whistle blown, as a free position will be earned there, and it looks like it's going to be for Schmidt. Schmidt with a chance to shoot it, and she'll go low and beat the goaltender Bonauto, so Schmidt gets herself another goal in this one for Schmidt. That is her third, so she will join Smith, McCormick, and Bowman with at least 3 goals in the game. 4th hat-trick scorer for KU today, as KU goes back up 18-9, 9-goal lead here with 2:58 left in the second half. Like to take the time to, for anybody listening out there, still watching the game, make sure you follow KU Athletics on social media at KU Golden Bears on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat at KU Golden Bears for all updates involving Kutztown Athletics. You can see some highlights from today's game on our Twitter account, and a lot of other good content pushed out here by the Kutztown University Sports Information Department, although that is somewhat biased, as I am a part of it. Pass behind, and Saxon getting rolled to the turf. That's got to be a foul there, as she draws it. And we'll retake possession. And that'll give us time to select our player of the game today. And I think we're going to have to give it to Michaela Bowman, passing the 100-point milestone. 4 goals, 3 assists, and 7 points for Bowman. 9 shots, 6 of which came on goal, and scored on both of her free position chances did Michaela. So congratulations to Michaela Bowman on being selected as today's player of the game. Watkins kept out there, but a foul, as now the clock ticking down towards 2 minutes left. But we will get a stoppage and a quick restart. That's Watkins with it, and Watkins is hammered. So Edinboro knows it's not going to win this one, but maybe he wants to leave a few bruises on KU, as a couple dirty plays in a row. And now that's going to be Doran sent to the box. So KU going to be playing a player up basically for the rest of the game, as long as it doesn't score with 2:07 left, and it'll be a 2-minute penalty for Doran. And now's that opportunity for KU, especially a player up. Try to kind of run a play for one of these people who don't get a lot of playing time and get them in the scoring column. They've gotten a lot of run today with your team having a big lead, but it would be nice to see one of them put one in the back of the net and score goal number 19. Watkins, Haas finds Fitzpatrick in front. Fitzpatrick had it for a moment. Lex better of it and finds Watkins on the far side. Watkins, nice move to the cage. Left-handed shot, and she is fouled. And she will earn the free position. So Watkins, one thing I've noticed with her, when she catches it on the one-on-one, she is quick and agile enough to really propel herself forward and get past the defender easily. She's drawing the free position again, and now that's 2 Fighting Scots in the box. We'll see if Watkins takes the free position attempt here and just lets it go as she's right in front. Watkins to the goal, and a nice save there by Bonauto. Watkins goes low, but Bonauto goes down there to deny Watkins and looks for the long outlet pass. Tough to handle there, but Cheeto eventually comes down with it, and she's got plenty of space here on the near side as the KU defense is in retreat mode. De Palma with it now. De Palma to the net. Didn't know if she got a shot off there, but nonetheless it comes down now to Taylor Small. Small back behind to Klein. Klein works it around. And KU moving it upfield. That's Fitzpatrick with it. Haas is wide open. And the pass is incomplete upfield as it was a little bit tough to handle. But it might have been kind of a design play. Haas was just wide open, kind of cherry-picking back towards the goal. But KU could not get it done there for their senior. And that one knocked away and reset quickly. Watkins defending with Kearns, and it eventually pops out of the stick there of the Fighting Scout player and ends up with Kearns, who will move it forward. 25 seconds left. Kearns can continue to go if she wants. She's looking to pass it off, but really doesn't have to. Now she will pass it off. Caught there by Saxon. 15 seconds on the clock. Inside there, and a foul called. And the clock actually should stop here, I believe, with 7 seconds left. Yes, it should. And now a free position chance for Sarah Killian. And if she does anything but shoot it, I'm going to have a personal talk with her. But she does shoot it, and it just does not find the back as Bonauto keeps it out. Would have liked to see Killian get a goal there, but not a whole lot to complain about if you're a KU fan from this one, as Kutztown gets a win over Edinboro 18-9 here from Andre Reed Stadium on this Saturday afternoon. So for Darren Urigan on the call, James Warner on the computer, and Olivia Novak on the camera, we appreciate for those of you tuning in, and tune in next time as we'll be back here on Monday for a 1 o'clock game with Slippery Rock. But until then, we appreciate your viewership, and you have been watching Kutztown University Women's Lacrosse on the Golden Bear Network.